Okay. Awesome. Guys, thanks for coming again. I can't thank you enough. We got a really big crowd. I think this is the biggest crowd that I've had so far. And again, this next hour, an hour and a half is about you. What I want to do today's agenda is I'll talk to you about what I'm seeing in the labor market, sitting in this chair, talking to clients. I'll provide you with some things that I think people should be doing to find work. It's not 1985 anymore. Like gone are the days of faxing in a resume, hoping and praying that an employer calls you. I think today's job seeker, we should be looking for work in different methods, and I'll dive into some of my top tips I think people should be doing. And then we'll just turn it to you. We'll do a Q&A and we'll just chit chat and then and if anyone wants to vent, please feel free to vent as well too. This is for you, right? So and again, if you haven't did your URL, please put your URL in there. And I just want to minimize. How do I get to my notes? Oh boy. Here we go. Okay. Okay. So, um, why is it so hard to find work nowadays? I guess everyone knows that. I mean, the labor market's tough right now. I don't have to say this. You guys know what's going on with the tariff wars right now with Trump and our government. So the tariff wars have caused thrown a monkey wrench into the labor market, into the economy. That's one. The higher interest rates. So there's so much instability right now. So I think a lot of employers right now are just pausing hiring, or they are doing hiring as a needed basis. They're not adding to the team right now. I think they're just going to ride out the next 6 months just to see how things going. But they're running very, very lean right now. So hiring is not a major issue for employers right now. Only if someone resigns or if the position needs to get filled, they'll fill it. But right now, I think it's quite across the board, and that's all industries from manufacturing, technology, to insurance, to banking. It's just things are. I think employers are just walking very slowly right now, and you're seeing it as well too. What we're also seeing too now is that employers are now, when they do place a job ad, there was a client that we work with. She got 1,700 resumes for one job posting. 1,700 resumes. And I'm convinced they're not opening up 1,700 resumes, right? So um, it makes it really, really hard to stand out. Another thing too, why it's so hard to find job now, if you look at Canada's population, it's skyrocketed, right? Like like I don't know what about it. I didn't even look at it, but what our population is now, compared to 10 years, is I think we've probably doubled those numbers. So that makes it even harder. So, 10 years ago, if you saw 200 applicants, now you're seeing 400 or 500 applicants for one job posting. Now, I do want to mention as well, too, of the 500 resumes, not all of them are qualified, right? So not all of them are qualified, but that's another argument for another day. But so employers are seeing so much more volume now, so many more resumes coming in, and so it makes it even more hard to find work, right? So if you're looking for work right now, you're faced with a challenge. Let me go to my notes because there's some things I really want to talk about. Okay. Um, we're also seeing too, COVID's long behind us, so now employers are now calling their employees back. So you're not seeing work from home as much. You're seeing probably, I think what I've seen the most is like a 3 days from home. We're not seeing the 5 days in office anymore. I think the standard right now is probably 3 days or 100% in office. So that's what I'm seeing. I don't Gone are the days of working 100% from home. So if you are a job seeker, you're not going to find a lot of jobs working from home. I know a lot of people who actually don't want to be in the office. They don't want to fight traffic. So, but as a job seeker, please have an open mind, okay? There was one candidate that I was speaking with. He said he was only looking for something. He wanted to work from his basement. I said, I think you're crazy. He found something. He was working in payroll. He was able to find something, but again, the norm now is 3 days in office or back in office 100%. Okay, so I want to lead to this. Things I think you should be doing to be looking for work, okay? First of all, I think one thing what I'm seeing now is people, job seekers, are just spraying and praying their resume. So what they're doing is they're just sit at their desk and it's an approach called spray and pray, where they just apply to all these open jobs and hoping and praying that an employer will call them. I don't think that's an effective job searching strategy. I don't think it works. It's like throwing up excuse my language, just throwing shit against the wall and hoping it sticks. Okay. You may get a job from that, but not the job you really want. So one, understand the job that you want, okay, and apply to the right jobs. Because if you're not applying for the right jobs, you're not going to get noticed. There's when I place a job ad for if I'm looking for a business partner, I'm getting engineers applying for the job. I'm getting accountants applying for the job. It makes no sense. But it just goes to show people are so in some cases they're desperate for work that they're just spraying and praying, right? They need a job. So they're just spraying their resume hoping that an employer calls them. So if you're listening to this right now, that doesn't work. It's just not an effective job searching strategy. Okay, so my best thing that I think people should be doing is, and I share this often, and I've made videos about this, and I talk about this often on LinkedIn and on my YouTube channel, is you have to be very, very active on platforms like LinkedIn. Okay. So what do I mean by that? Is I think that we have to be seen and we have to be noticed. Okay. There is a woman, and I'll share a great example of this, is that I encouraging people to take advantage of LinkedIn, like, share, comment, on LinkedIn every day because employers and recruiters such as myself use LinkedIn. It's our number one resource when we're finding applicants. Okay. So on top of applying for jobs that you're qualified for, be active on platforms like LinkedIn. So again, like, share, comment daily on LinkedIn and create videos. If you have courage, which I should suggest you do, is be in front of the camera, create videos. And why I suggest you do this? Because it's another way that you can showcase your personality. You can let employers see you and hear you and just be top of mind. There was a candidate that I was working with. I forgot her name now. Welcome to your 50s, Pino. Her name was, let's call her Jennifer. And Jennifer was great. And I met her a couple years ago, and she spoke so well, really intelligent. She had HR, she was from Dubai, and she had HR back experience from back home, and she was a flight attendant, but she came to Canada and her dreams were to get a job into HR. And so we connected and I said, Jennifer, you speak so well. I said, have you thought about maybe creating content on LinkedIn? And she said, I could never do that. I said, why? You speak so well. Like, what's holding you back? She goes, I just don't want to be in front of the camera, right? And and I said, I really think you should do it. Why don't you just try doing one video? So she starts creating these videos, right? And as a result, I kept seeing her pop up on my LinkedIn feed, and she would be on LinkedIn feeds every day. I think once a week she was doing. And what that did is it reminded me of her because we get flooded with so many. I speak to so many people. My brain, I can't remember everyone I speak with. I have an ATS, an applicant tracking system that it's a tool that I use to help remember people and to store resumes. But unfortunately, I can't remember everyone. But when you're active on platforms like LinkedIn, when you're liking, sharing, commenting, and creating videos and creating content, employers are looking at that and they're seeing that. And what that's doing is that's going to help separate you from everyone else that's not doing it. So you become top of mind. Okay. So the best advice I can say to share with you to find work is create content, be visible on LinkedIn. I think Joanne, you said it best. It allows you to showcase your personality, right? So be active on LinkedIn. Okay. Another thing that I personally did was I wanted to be heard for what I did is I did well, I one step further. I created this YouTube channel, and that's
Mm.
another platform that my voice can be heard and I can be seen. So, and I think in this day and age in 2025, we want to be seen. Everyone's on their phones and everyone's scrolling through videos, right? And I'm on Instagram. We're all scrolling. It's just the way I think we take in information now through these apps and through these phones, right? So there's just another way to stand out and get noticed from the sea of applicants that you're competing with. And again, last week I was speaking to a client, she got 1,700 resumes. I'm like, that's crazy to me. Last night I went out and was having drinks, and it just so happened I met with a recruitment manager at Ryerson University. It's not called Ryerson, it's called Toronto Metropolitan University. Is it Toronto? Yeah. And so I was talking to her. We're just chit-chatting and met her there, and I said, tell me your recruitment process. Like, how do you actually go through all the resumes? And she said, yes, Pino. So she goes, the last posting we posted, we got 500 resumes. I said, do you actually go through the 500 resumes? And she said, Pino, yes, we do. I said, do you have time to go through 500 resumes? She goes, we have to, Pino. We go through the resume. I said, okay, great. Walk me through that. So she goes, we go through every resume. I take 30 seconds to go through each resume. I said, great. Then what do you do? Then I either go into the no pile or the A pile. If I go to the A pile, I'm looking them, spending more time on them. If they go to the no pile, they definitely know we're moving on. But she admitted that she walked through the 500 resumes. So employers do go through them. I'm convinced that not all employers do that. Okay. Now, another thing too, I do want to mention as well too. We talk about AI and getting through the system. I do want to mention as well too. A lot of the organizations that I'm working with now, and I have worked with, don't have applicant tracking systems. They don't have an ATS system. So when you click send, you're thinking that your resume is going to go into a fancy system, and a recruiter or hiring manager is going to open up that resume and go through your resume. Oftentimes, you'll be surprised. These organizations actually don't even have an ATS. And you're thinking, well, why don't they have an ATS? It would make sense because a lot of organizations don't, a lot of times, and I hate to say this, uh, not all organizations, I want to be careful here, but a lot of organizations unfortunately don't see the value in HR. They don't see the value in investing in HR and these tools. So they don't have it. So when you click send, your resume is going into someone's inbox and it's getting organized through an Excel, through Excel, right? So that's why as we said, and now you mentioned at the beginning of the call, networking is your net worth, right? Your ability to network is going to get you in front of the line, right? Is going to get you right directly to the hiring manager. So another tip that I can share with you is the power of network, doing things such as this, connecting with people on LinkedIn, having dialogue with people. And they say, what am I going to say when I connect with these people? Ask them a question. Just start with hello. Let's start there. Start with hello. Do you have a few minutes to talk to me about your career in HR? Can we talk? Can we take a few minutes and just chat? The power of dialogue and the power of walking up to a stranger and saying hello can open up insurmountable doors for you. So when you go to these networking events such as this, don't be afraid to say hello to you. Like, don't be afraid to say hello, right? I think a lot of people or many people in HR, most people some not I don't want to say all, I want to be careful here. So some people are introverts, but I think we have to get outside of our comfort zone and don't be afraid when you do go to these networking events, say hello, right? Go up to that person that you may not know and just, hello, my name is so and so, and just start chit chatting, right? And I've made a career out of this, guys. Like sitting at this desk, I've made a healthy living just by networking with people, being genuine, being authentic, right? Not after anything, just being me, being Pino, and that's opened up so many doors for me. So if I can leave you with one message today, network, be yourself. Don't be afraid to talk to people and engage in conversation with people. Okay. Because another thing to mention too is most jobs in Toronto right now are not available online. I think I read a statistic that 70% of jobs available right now in the GTA are not online. You will not see them. Okay. So your power to network is going to open up so many doors that you didn't know available to you. And Isha, as on that note, Isha's with us, right?
I'm here, Issa, right?
Isha, can you share quickly your story, how you and I met and how you went for an interview yesterday? Can you please share that story with our audience today?
Sure. So I happened to be looking at my phone and I got a notification. A long time ago, I had worked for a recruitment company and I had added Pino through one of our conversations because he called me to talk about a job, or I don't remember what the conversation entailed exactly. You remember Pino?
Oh, I was going long. I won't remember.
It
No.
was it was a long time ago, but I saved the number and I saved in brackets recruitment company, because I always like to know, what people do and what they called, and in case he called me back, I would know. Forgot about it for several years, over 7 years, and I was looking at my phone, stressed about not finding work, and I get a notification: Pino downloaded Telegram. So I decided to reach out to Pino and I said, "Hi, how are you doing? Are you still recruiting? I'm actually looking for work right now." And funny enough, at first he was like, "I don't know if I have a job for you." And then we discussed a little bit further, and then he's like, "Actually, I think I might have one." And then he decided to extend a JD that was it your friend that had it, or was it you?
So there's a client that there's a other staffing firm that I'm partnering with right now, and Tanya calls me last week and says, I'm working on this role. It's a customer service slash IT role. I said, I don't have anyone. My niche is HR. That's the lane I drive in. And she goes, well, she just sends it to me. She goes, if you have anyone, let me know. A week later, Mike says to me, a friend of mine says, download a Telegram. And I said, what's Telegram? He goes, it's just a fancier way of WhatsApp. I download Telegram. 30 seconds later, Isha messages me and we start chit-chatting and she says, I'm looking for work. Can you help me? So we're chatting on the way. I'm driving home and she's chatting me about what she does. And the light bulb goes off. I said, Isha, based on what you're telling me, I think I have something. So I'm telling her about this role. I said, call me tomorrow morning, the next morning, and dive into the role. Call her, tell her about the role. She goes, Pino, this is perfect. This is exactly what I'm looking for. I can do this job. Isha, you went in for yesterday, that interview yesterday. You had a kick-ass interview. How well did that interview go yesterday?
It went really well. I'm actually going in for the second and final round altogether.
Okay. And I got feedback too, really quickly, if I can share. Why they also love you too is you speak multiple languages. They love that about you.
I'm glad to hear it.
Yes.
It was
What?
a perfect spot on fit. Like I didn't alter like normally people have to alter a resume a little bit to kind of fit the job description,
Yeah.
but in my case I didn't. Like I handed him my resume and he handed me the JD and we're looking at each other like this is perfect. But it was completely random.
Isha, okay, I'm gonna tell you something quickly. That if you get this job, it's from God, and I'll tell you why. I'm on this journey right now. I'm going through a rocky road right now personally, and I'm getting closer to God right now. And God's helping me get through this really tough time. And I connect with Mike. So we're getting a little off topic. I connect with Mike, and Mike's very spiritual. And we're talking about spirituality with Mike. And he goes, Pino, I want you to download this app, Telegram. Telegram, I download Telegram. You message me. Now you're going for a second interview. You're gonna get this job. This is a sign from the heavens opened up, the clouds opened up. You're gonna get this job. So it just goes to show you network and constant engaging in conversation. Okay, so it's so important. It's that's a great story, and Manal's story is great, and it's just networking is the best way, most effective way. Those who network increase their job a way of getting they increase their chances of getting hired. Okay, it's a fact, and again I've done this for 20 years since 2007. I've been doing this, so I made a living off of networking. So if you could take anything from this call today, please learn how to network. If you are an introvert, please get out of that comfort zone. Diamonds are shaped when they're extreme heat. When they pull them out of the earth, they put extreme heat on them, and that's when they take their shape. The muscle only grows when it's pushed, right? When you push that muscle, that's when it grows. So if you're sitting at your desk doing the same thing over and over again, and it's not going to grow. Help me out, anyone. There's that quote. If the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over, expecting the same result. So please get out of your comfort zone. Okay, do something different. That's why I talk about LinkedIn, creating these videos. The first video that I did years ago, I was scared. I was sitting in a friend's office and I was scared and I was worried about what I looked like. I was like, I don't look good, I don't sound good. I don't give a shit, excuse my language. I don't care anymore. I just, because if I'm adding value and I'm helping people, then that's all I care about. My job here, God put me on this earth to help people, and that's what I'm doing. That's my calling, and that's what I've been doing. So I don't care I care what I look like. I want to look presentable and I want to speak well. I want to sound intelligent, but getting in front of that camera has just been the next elevation for me. It's just taking my career and my networking abilities to the next level. So please, guys, network, get in front of the camera, like, share, be active on platforms like LinkedIn. Another thing that I want to share with you, there are people like Joanne, Gail DeFabio's here, Johan are here. You guys are good friends of me. Thank you for being my friends. They will help you with your job search. So connect with them. Gail, you're a coach. Joanne, you're a coach. Johan, you guys done some great things for people. God bless you guys. Keep doing what you're doing. Connect with Johan, Gail, Joanne. Who else am I forgetting? Is there anyone on this call here? They are career coaches. They will help you find work. They will coach you. They will guide you. These people have worked in the community for years. They're intelligent, smart people. They love what they do. So please connect with them. If you can't get a hold of me, please connect with Joanne, Gail DeFabio, and Johan, and they will definitely help you. So connect with these people. Connect with the recruiters in the Toronto area because I know they will help you. Gail, please say hello. Introduce yourself quickly. Gail, you there?
Hi, guys. Sorry about that. Can you hear me?
We can.
Hi,
Okay,
everyone.
30-second elevator pitch. 30-second.
Oh my. I'm Gail Fabio. I'm the founder of Elevate Interview Coach, and I've been an HR executive for over 20 years. Pino and myself go a long way back. He trained me to be a recruiter many, many years ago. But I'm also a yoga teacher. And I am very passionate about meditation, affirmations, and studying frequencies and how we have to be in the right frame of mind in order to go into an interview. Because if you walk into an interview and you're not in the right frame of mind, you're not getting the job. That's the bottom line.
Yeah.
So what I do is I help individuals, um, and we go through, we have in-depth conversations. We clear any past trauma. If you don't have what you want today, if you are not in your dream role, it's because something is blocking you. So
Hmm.
I help individuals go through this process. We clear any past trauma. We look at our future, our most abundant self, and I put you on a path to get what you want. So, and then we go through your resume, all the traditional stuff, your resume, your interviewing skills. We practice your elevator speech, and I help you bring out your most authentic self, just being who you are. We all have something to offer. We are all special, and we're all individuals, and um, you are special. And I believe in you. I love you. You have to know I believe in you. And I help you and I'll walk through this process with you together, hand in hand. So
Gail, God
lovely
bless you.
meeting you all.
Okay, how can we connect with Gail? LinkedIn?
Elevate in LinkedIn and elevate interviewcoach.ca. I'm
Perfect.
there.
Love it. Gail, thank you.
Thank you, Pino,
You're
and thank you for all your coaching all these years. I think it's been
oh, my
over
pleasure.
25 years. Let's
Love it.
not tell everyone our age, but
Yes. I'll call you later, Joanne. Joanne, Joanne, can you give your 30 seconds? I want to introduce everyone to Joanne.
Sure, thank you. Hi, everybody. Similar to Gail, I've spent over 20 years in HR leadership roles, predominantly PR, marketing, advertising, communications industries. And I've known Pino for a very long time as well. Pino placed me in one of my roles during COVID, actually. He just called me up out of the blue. He had my phone number and in his system from years of working together. So yeah, Pino is a great person to know. So a little bit about me. I got burnt out during COVID. I
Hello.
decided I'm going to pivot and
Nan, again,
take all of my work experience and share it out with job seekers.
again,
So I am a career coach today, and
Wow.
I've given myself my dream job, and I help job seekers land their next dream job. And I will say, dream jobs don't always stay your dream job because you evolve, you grow, and you want to move on to that next stage. So no matter what stage you're at in your career, I can help you. And you can connect with me on LinkedIn. I'm predominantly on LinkedIn. I have a small Instagram page. I haven't spent a lot of time on there, but LinkedIn is where I share out all of my insider knowledge from, interviewing thousands of candidates, reviewing thousands of applicants, implementing ATS systems, coaching hiring managers, building out those recruitment processes, partnering with recruitment agencies such as Pino, and I'm in my dream job. Love what I do, and I'm putting it out to the world.
And then we can connect with you on LinkedIn
Yes,
and
please
your
connect on LinkedIn.
and your website.
JoanneSparrow.com.
Awesome. Okay, perfect.
Thank you.
Johan, you're up. Tell us a little bit about what you do and how you can help people on this call.
Thank you so much, Pino. So wonderful to see so many familiar faces. For those of you who have your video on, I can see all of your bright, smiling faces. Gail, that was so sweet. Thank you so much for sharing that warmth, that love, that kindness. I think all of us, in whatever stage of life we are in, we need that. Pino, I've known you for a few years. I've never seen you get so vulnerable that you did a few minutes ago. And I know life is tough for all of us. Nobody is privileged over here. We all have gone through tough times, tough journeys. And that's what life is about, right? Nobody gives us, a bouquet of flowers or a bed of roses and says, go enjoy your life. It almost never happens that way. So first and foremost, thank you so much for joining this call, for being on this call. It tells me that you are, serious about your professional career. And the fact that you're investing time on this Friday afternoon, it means a lot to all of us. I won't go too much into my introduction because most of you on the call know me already. But I'll share my LinkedIn profile with those of you who I haven't connected with. I'm also a career coach. I've been doing this now just for 6 years. I've placed about 475 people in the past 6 years in Canada's top companies. In addition to that, I'm also a certified change management consultant. I guess you could call me a LinkedIn influencer. That's the term out there. I share content almost every single day on job search and careers. So if you'd like to follow me, happy to have you in my network. Thank you so much, all of you, for being here today.
Awesome, guys. Thanks. So, guys, Joanne, Gail, and Johan, they're great. If I can't help you, unfortunately, I can't help everyone. Please connect with Joanne, Johan, and Gail, and they can help you. And Gail, she does the yoga thing. I thought that was really cool. She helps you get past the drama. I thought that was interesting way too. So, thanks for that, Gail. Okay, I want to mention something too, and we'll open up to a couple Q&A. We'll open up to Q&A, but one thing I do want to share with everyone on the call today. Communication skills really play a big part in it as well too. So please remember that your ability to communicate is going to be really, really important as well too. If you are really good at what you do, and I've talked to thousands of candidates over the years, if I can't understand you on the phone, if you're great on paper and you can do the job, everything lines up, salary, location, all that stuff, it lines up. But if you do not communicate effectively, that means slowing down your pace. That means letting the hiring manager understand what you do and how you can help them. It's not gonna, the odds of you getting the job are not good. So communication skills is really, really important. Quick story. I was working with a client last year. I met a great candidate. She could do the job. She was new to Canada, and I was so encouraged to help her. I want to help newcomers to Canada. I want to open up a door for them, but I couldn't understand what she was saying. So communication skills are so, so important, written and verbal. Okay. On your resume, if there's a typo, I've seen this, and it's as crazy as it sounds, one typo can cost you the job you're looking for. So please proof your resume. These are basic things we think we would know, but just a reminder and a nudge. Proofread the resume. The resume doesn't have to be 30 pages. The resume is 1 page to 2 pages max. It's just giving us the appetizer to your career and what you can do. Okay. Best thing I could tell you on the resume, people say to me, what can I do on my resume to get noticed? Quantifiable numbers. That is the best thing that you can do. And if you don't have them, don't put them. Quantify numbers means to me, if you worked in HR, increased employee morale by 30%, reduced turnover by 80%. Numbers help tell your story. Okay. And if you don't have them, think about it and try and put those numbers on your resume. If I heard someone says increased employee morale by 80%, wow, that's a great number. It's a way to tell your story. So if you have numbers, please put them on your resume. Okay. Just a couple more things I want to talk about, and then we'll do a Q&A. Negotiate offers. Yes, you can negotiate your offer letter. Someone asked me yesterday, Pino, can I negotiate an offer? Yes, you can, but it's very tricky, right? So how do you answer the question, Pino, can I ask for more money? Yes, you can ask for more money once you've been presented with an offer, right? But just be careful, because if you handle that well, it can get really ugly, right? But you can ask for more money, but just be delicate on how you answer. If you want more details on that, please message me, okay? Is money a motivator for most people? If you're in sales, I want you to answer yes, money's a motivator for you. But most people over the years, money's not their main driver. Okay, company culture is, the ability to learn and grow, leadership. Those are the core drivers for people. Hybrid work flexibility. Those are drivers for most people. Okay. Last thing I want to mention, then we'll do a Q&A. Just give me 1 second because I don't want to forget this. Okay, I want to talk about diversity really quickly. Someone was talking to me yesterday about, when agency recruiters, do we put an emphasis on equity, diversity, inclusion? Okay, I can tell you this. We do not. I can tell you in this chair, I do not. I don't care where you are in the world. I don't care your skin color. I don't care religion, if you're male, female. I don't care what gender. We are incentivized by money. That's how we earn our living, okay? And by helping people. I don't care if I look at a resume. I don't care about any of that. Can you do the job? I don't care what part of the world you're in. Can you do the job? Can you clearly demonstrate that you can do the job? And are you the right fit for that? So agency recruiters do not put emphasis on equity and diversity and inclusion. I know there's organizations that do that, but the agency recruiters don't do that. Our goal is to help people get back to work, regardless of where they're from. So I just want to clear that up. Someone asked me that, so I thought I'd mention that. Okay, I'm done talking. I'm going to take a break. Does anyone have any questions? Anyone think that they want to, that's on their mind?
Yes. Pino, I have a question, actually. What about when it comes to cover letters? Because I'm aware that, recruiters have limited time. Like you
Yeah.
mentioned, like a resume should only be 2 pages max.
Yeah.
Will they, if we, spend a lot of time working on one or doing one, does it make a difference? Do recruiters actually read those?
So the cover letter is a good question, and this is an interesting question. So 50%, there's studies on this. 50% of employers read the cover letter, while 50% of employers don't read the cover letter. If the job posting says to submit a cover letter, please submit the cover letter, because if it comes down to you in a final to you and you're down to there's two candidates, there's Tamara and there's Pino, but Tamara took the time to do a great kick-ass cover letter. That might be the difference right at the finish line. Says Tamara went the extra mile. That's showcasing her drive, her willingness. That showcases her personality. So I would say yes, do the cover letter. Although it's a pain in the ass to do it, I would say include it. If they don't read it, fine. Then they don't read it. But it might give you that decisive end right at the end of the finish line. So I would say do it. But most of them actually don't read. Like, I've never read a cover letter. I just don't have the time. When I look at the resume, I dive right into the meat of the potatoes of the resume. What are they doing? What industry are they working at? Longevity is another thing I look for. If I see someone going job to job to job to job, the past typically tells me the future. So I typically don't like job hoppers. So
Okay, I have a question.
Thanks,
Okay, I'm
Mom.
Linda Williams, and I've met with you, Johan, just once or twice, actually. So when it comes down to the cover letters and people who are job hoppers, I have 15 years of accounting experience, and I've gone through, I don't know how many jobs in 15 years. I mean, I got 5 years with one company, but I've been with like
Yep.
Randstad, Accountemps, Altus HR, and a couple of
Yep.
other ones. And
Yep.
unfortunately, I've had to keep myself working.
Yep.
I mean, it may look like I've been job hopping, but this is the experience that I have gotten.
Yep.
And for some reason, like I can get the next job in less than a month of it anything right now because of 2025 and a lot of the agencies that I've been talking to is accounting is very, very slow right now. I
Yep.
don't have a whole lot of time, unfortunately, because I'm in a financial bind right now. And
So
I don't
Linda,
know what to do next.
so Linda, so I just want to be clear. If I just want to be clear, if someone's
Mhm,
job hopping, that doesn't mean I'm not going to reach out to you. I'm not going to at least have a
mhm,
conversation with you, because there are people like you. For some reason, they just haven't been able to find full-time work. It's just been contract after contract. So
mhm,
it doesn't mean that I won't call you or at least entertain that. Okay, tell me why it's been contract. And there's been legitimate reasons. It's just this is how my life has taken me. I've just been on contract after contract. Okay, that's okay. I'm not going to talk to you. I'd still
mhm,
engage in conversation to understand that,
mhm,
right? But historically, I want to be careful here. Employers typically don't like that. But I'm not saying that you're not employable, and I'm not saying that you're not going to get a
mhm.
job. Historically, employers typically shy away from that. But that's
Okay.
why I go back to, if you can get in front of someone and tell your story, network with people, it's to me, that network's gonna open up. So you won't have to explain yourself to, if someone knows you that can vouch for you,
Mhm.
then that's gonna open up that door for you.
Okay, so my situation, and this could be very brief, is that
Yep.
my last job, I was with them for 2.5 years, and they restructured the whole entire finance department and let go of 5 people.
Yep.
Like we're talking about people who are in their late 40s and up.
Yep.
We're the ones that are getting, it's much tougher for us to get a job now versus the
No, it's
people
not.
who are in their 20s and 30s.
No, that's not true at all. I've placed countless peoples in their 40s and 50s and 60s. So there's a misconception that when
Mm,
people hit 50, this light bulb goes off. I'm not going to find a job because I'm 50. That's so I'm here to tell you, Linda,
mhm,
doing this job for 20 years, I place countless people in their 50. How do you know they're 50? I don't ask how old they are. I want to be clear. I'm not asking how old you
yeah.
are, but you
Okay.
can generally get a sense. So please, we live in a different world now. 50 years ago was you're old, you're gonna expire, you're gonna die soon. Those days are gone. We're living much longer. We
Yes.
take much better care of ourselves. We're at the gym more now than we ever are. Meds are much better now. So we're living much so don't worry about the fact that you're 50. You are still employable in your 50. And I can prove it. I've got ample stories of that. So don't worry about turning 50. Don't worry about 55. Don't worry about 65. Don't worry. I don't worry. There's always a home. You just got to find it. So don't worry about that. Please don't let age. Do I believe that there are some people that will not hire you because of your age? Of course, it's ageism. Yes, there's biases and beliefs that people have, which I think is wrong. But yes, you're going to be faced with that. But that's just life, right? That's so. But you just keep going. You find your home.
Yeah, but the question is when.
Yeah, so I will leave you with this because I'm on a spiritual journey right now.
Yeah,
It's
that's fine.
God has the perfect timing for all of us. There's a time.
Linda, it's Gail.
Hi, Gail.
Linda, it's Gail. Hi, connect with me.
I will.
I know of a position.
Because I mean, most of what I've done in the last 10 years has been accounts payable roles.
Okay, so
Actually.
connect with me offline, because I'm aware of a position. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Gail,
Talk to you soon.
Gail,
Okay,
thank
bye.
you, Gail. See,
The power of networking.
There we go.
let's all clap. There you go. There you go. Thank you, Gail. See how it's important to be on these calls. Any other questions? Anyone want to pick my brain on what's happening with the labor market and what's happening?
Yes, Pino. I have a question. This is
Who
Mo
am I
here.
speaking with?
My name is Mo or Mohammed, short for Mohammed.
Hi, Mo.
But basically, for the last 17 years or so, I've been working in project management and mainly in IT. I had my industry or more than 12 years, give and take, laying out fiber and so on. But once you're laying down the fiber, there's more to work beyond the YouTubes and Netflix of the world. They'll ride the fiber. So once you're done with the hardware, you got to get on to something else. And so I changed industries a bit, got into a few roles through contracting, having my own corporation. And I led digital transformations. I kind of got away from hardware and so on, which was great.
Yeah.
But then I went through a medical journey, for lack of a better term. I had to go through treatments in the last, and there's a gap in my resume for the last, how do I say it, I would say 16 months. I haven't landed an opportunity. It has been a tough ride.
Yeah.
And I was going to ask for some tips because I happen to have an interview maybe middle of September.
Yeah.
So should the recruiter or the hiring manager ask what happened? I mean, they just say medical because they might say, you know what, he might come up with something else. It could be a medical, it might be a drawback. Forget this candidate, right?
Yeah.
What do you suggest?
Yeah, so that's a good question. I'm glad you asked that. So there are a lot of sorry, I don't know why this is asking me this. Just give me 30 seconds. Sorry, guys. So that question comes up often. Like when I see gaps on resumes, I always ask them, okay, because I go through the resume, go through each role, why you left. I want to better understand why you left each role and why there are gaps. You have to find a way to explain it. And unfortunately, a lot of recruiters will see if there's a long gap, a year, 2 years. In some cases, I saw a resume she hasn't worked in 3 years. You got to find a way to communicate. Hey, listen, my mom passed away, took care of mom. I had some personal issues, whatever the case is. Life throws us these monkey wrenches. They throw us these curveballs, right? So if you're not getting that call, and I said at the beginning, Mo, find out who the hiring manager. So get a way to get in touch with that hiring manager and say, I've submitted my resume. I think sometimes I don't get the call because there's a gap. Can I take 30 seconds to explain to you why there's a gap? Because it looks like I have the right qualifications for that job, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you have to find a way. You got to be creative to find a way to find that person's number, connect with them on LinkedIn. Think outside the box. Call them at work and say, "Can I speak to Pino? Pino, no, you got a job for a project manager. I submitted my resume, haven't heard anything. I think it might be because I've got this gap. Can I take 30 seconds to explain to you why that is?" So I would suggest doing that.
Yep. Okay, appreciate that.
I do want to mention too, just because Priyanka, give me 30 seconds, just because there is that gap, please don't let that discourage you. I see this over and over and over again where women go on mat leave or parents become ill. And so people have to resign and take care of mom and dad. It happens all the time, right? But if you're authentic about that and it sincerely is, then don't let that discourage you, Mo. But it's a challenge for you. That's your challenge. That's what you're faced with.
Good stuff. Thanks,
right?
Pino.
I hope that helps. Connect with me on LinkedIn if we're not connected, okay, Mo?
For sure.
Okay. Is it Radhika?
Yes.
Hi, Radhika.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing good.
Thank you so much for giving me a chance to connect with you.
My pleasure.
Okay, so I have a quick question. As it is advised on the career or on the company website to apply online, whatever the job opportunity is open.
Yes.
But if we apply online and tries to connect with people on LinkedIn,
Yep.
like it happens with me, like some of them they never reply, and some of them they don't accept my LinkedIn request. So in that case, what can I do? Because if somebody don't
Yep.
know me by my resume,
Yep.
because as you said earlier, like
Yep.
recruiters have a lot of resumes, so how can
Yep.
they read it in 3 seconds, or how can they just go through the resume by? So what can I do in that situation?
Okay. So if you've applied online and no one's calling you, you connected with them on LinkedIn, they're still not answering.
Yes.
Uh, and this is, and I go back to this as well too. I know because I'm in sales, right? So I'm always calling a lot of these companies. I have to call them and I connect with them on LinkedIn. They don't respond. And then I call them at work or I connect with them on LinkedIn and there's no response. So I would say this, it sucks. It's part of it's part of the job search. You're met with like looking for work is a lot of rejection, a lot of no's, a lot of slam doors. So my only advice to you is just to keep going and the more doors you knock on, something's going to open up. If any, again, I'm on the spiritual jury. During Matthew 7:7, knocking the door will be open to you, all right? But you got to keep knocking, right? You
You
just
know,
you keep knocking. Yeah,
sorry, can I add? Sorry,
please.
folks. So
Yeah,
I'm one who does hiring when I'm in the roles that I'm in. Currently, I am in transition. I will tell you this. You know, you've got to think of it on the other side as well. It's great that you are, doing LinkedIn. It's great that you're calling, etc. But these people also have jobs that they're doing, and not to be a Debbie Downer on this one, but if they're getting 10 people calling
yeah,
them in
yeah,
one day to say, hey, can I just have 30 seconds of your time? You will not get the job. I will guarantee it. Because then they will look at it and say, okay, she just bugged me or he
yeah,
just bugged me in the middle of something.
yeah.
Here's the way people's brains work. You need to give them something.
Mm,
What's in it for them? You've got to think about, okay, if I'm connecting to them, I need to stand out. I need to provide something to them. So,
mm,
what's an interesting fact about um, the role that you're looking for? What's an interesting fact about the places? So, for example, I'm in HR and learning and development is my specialty. There's a lot of information out there about learning and development, especially around AI. I provide them with something that will help them in their job so that they can see I have something to offer them. And so if you're just reaching out to say, hey, I have a little break in my resume or whatever, it's not going to get you as far as it could. With some people it will, with some people it won't. All I'm suggesting is provide some value to you communicating with them. Why should I open up your LinkedIn? Why should I look at you? And I know that that sounds bad. And again, folks, I'm not trying to be negative or anything, but in this day and age right now, with all of the mandates of going back to work, guess what, folks? Now there are even more people joining the looking for work because they don't want to go into the office 4 days a week. So I don't know if all you folks are aware, but government agencies, the government itself and banks have mandated 4 days a week to start by October, 5 days a week back in the office to start for January. So there's a lot of people that are currently employed that are now in the market looking for jobs because they don't want to work in the office for that time. So I'm just providing some
okay.
additional background to what Pino and the other folks have
So,
said.
okay, Susan, thank you.
Yeah.
That's great. Okay, so can we do a scenario? So if you're the hiring manager and I get you on the phone, how do I get your attention quickly? Give me an example. What can I
Well,
say?
look me up on LinkedIn and you'll see, as an example, I am one who is who is human when talking about L&D. And so a way to get around to me would simply be, Susan, I looked at your LinkedIn. It's fascinating. It's whatever you want to say. It's great or whatever. Were you aware that X% of people have not been taking any courses through LinkedIn? What have you found? Like, engage me in a way that has to do with the job that I'm doing, not just, oh, you know, so and so, can you introduce me? It's like, I don't know you. I don't know any, you know what I mean? Like, you've got to give me something to be able to want to talk with you. And again, I'm not suggesting that that's the only way, because Pino and the others have said some fantastic things. By the way, folks, Pino and I have known each other for over 25 years. And he and I every once in a while just, pardon the expression, shoot the shit just to talk, to see how things are going. Have nothing to do with business, but just to see that we are human. And so for me, it would be, what is it like? What was my last post? What was that about? Engage me in some conversation. That post that you made really hit home. I was feeling that. It sounds like, et cetera, et cetera. Or McKinsey just posted this, really cool stat. What did
Yeah.
you think about it? And
Yeah.
engage in a conversation so that the person, especially if you are an introvert and you aren't good at this big back and forth, or you go to these different functions and you kind of
Yeah.
stand by yourself,
Yeah.
this is a safe way to do it.
Susan, I like this analogy. I like to think of this, networking is like planting a garden. You're constantly planting seeds, right? You plant
Mhm.
seeds in the spring and then you harvest in the fall. So
Yeah.
something may not come now. Like Susan, I've known you, I've known Gail, I've Joanne, there's a lot, Elaine. I've known you guys for years, and I've just called just to say hello, right?
That was our last call, Pino. We were just talking just to say, hey.
That's it,
Yeah.
right? I don't want anything from you. I
Okay.
just call them just to say, what's up? How are you?
That's right.
Right? But I think if the recruiter, if the person looking for if the job, hey, are you hiring now? So your job, can you hire me? Can you do this for me? How do I get? Okay, no, I don't want to hear that, because I've got a million of those calls and I don't have time for that. So I believe the job search starts through networking, and the job search actually starts when you're working. So the
That's right.
best time to be looking for work is when you're working. Plant those seeds, because you never know when your hiring manager says, "Hey, we're laying off 20% of our workforce." Oh shit, where do I go? Right? So
And that's the thing, Pino, is people network when they need something. And that's the wrong way to do it, folks.
that's
You have to network, like
okay. So
Pino
here's my
said,
next.
from the, like, when you have that job. Just like recruiters are building their pipeline of
Yes.
people, we
Yes.
need to build our pipeline. Sorry if I'm stealing your thunder, Pino, but you and I think alike. So
No, but Susan, okay, so how do you network if you don't have time? We got careers, we got kids, we got drop-offs and
absolutely.
pickups, we got soccer practice, we got this. How do we make the time to do this stuff? Because networks takes a lot of time and work and effort.
Absolutely, it does. But you know what? When somebody has got a new job, you see it through your LinkedIn. There's nothing wrong with clapping for them and saying congratulations. It literally takes 3 seconds. And to Pino's point that he made earlier, now you're showing up on other people's LinkedIn as, that you commented on a post. You take 10 minutes. Listen, folks, we all have the same 24 hours in a day. And we want to be productive. What's keeping us from doing this is unproductive things,
Like
right?
what? Like
We're
scrolling on our phone?
scrolling through Instagram, scrolling on Facebook, looking at an email, putting it aside instead of reading it right away. It's our time management skills. You will do what is important to you. And so you've got to make it important to do some of this networking and do the work that is required. It's not easy. I've spoken in front of 25,000 people. I have no problem speaking to people, but this is work, folks. It's not easy. You want a job, you have to work for it. And unfortunately, the folks that are new Canadians, you have it even tougher because people are looking at, well, what have you done here? And here's the best part. Your skills are certainly transferable. You just have to know how to put them to show that they're transferable.
Yeah.
Even when you are on a mat leave, as an example, or on a career break, the skills that you are acquiring by doing time management, as simple as I've got 3 kids and I have to take them to baseball, soccer, and gymnastics. How the heck do I manage my time? That's a transferable skill. You just have to be able to word that in the words that the job that you would be applying for is looking at. How does that translate to being a project manager? How does that translate to being a financial guru? It does. It does. You just have to learn. And so the career coaches that are on here, they're the skilled ones who can help you with that wording so that it does show your true authentic self. Because if you don't use certain words and then you show up in an interview and you start using these words, people will see you are not authentic. So the Gales and the Joannes and the what's the other gentleman's name? Johan. Yes, the Pinots, they're the experts. They'll help you in crafting those messages to show who you really are. But show that on your LinkedIn. Put out a post. I mean, I put a post out about my husband who passed away 7 years ago, and I was talking about teamwork, and I related it back to I had just started a new job. He passed away 3 weeks into me starting this new job, and my team all came to the funeral, and we have maintained connection. I was only there on a contract. The point is I related it back to work. So share something about you, and relate it back to work. A Copilot, Chat GPT, it's your best friend. My gosh.
Susan, really quickly, I love that. I love that. That's what I talked about, like sharing content on LinkedIn. Just quick story. I have a plant in my office.
I know.
See okay, did everyone see the plant video I made?
Yep.
It got like 7,000 views. Do you know people texting me and calling me about the plant? And I just said, if we don't maintain our plants and our relationships, the plant will die. So I said, retain the relationships like our plants. Can I show everyone my plant now? It's actually doing much
Yes.
better.
Is it looking good, Pino?
It's actually so much better because I'm paying attention.
Oh, look how fluffy it is.
You got to see it. It came back to life
That's
because I
awesome.
paid attention to it. So pay attention to your relationships. So yes, Susan. So thank you so much, Susan, for sharing that. That's great advice. Thanks for jumping on.
Thank you so much, Pino, and thank you so much for sharing your experience. And I have another question. Yeah. So I have another question. The question is that like some people have this idea by saying this to me, it is better to drop off the resume in person. Do you think like I'm not believing in this because is it better idea like if you see any company hiring in Ottawa, like I am in Kingston and going to the Ottawa and drop off the resume to the company, isn't it a good idea?
No, Susan, I disagree with you. I think it's a good idea. Okay, Susan, you know, I'm yes.
The reason I say no is who are you dropping it off to? People aren't in the office. Are you dropping it off with the receptionist? Are you dropping it off with somebody else that's there? Even if you were to ask, like let's say I'm the hiring manager to ask for me, and I would say to the receptionist, and again, folks, I'm being completely transparent. I'd say, what are they here for? Or they're here to drop off a resume. Can you take it for me?
Okay,
If I
Susan.
happen to be in the office. If it's a retail opportunity or it's a small business where you would be working for the person that's actually there, sure. But I was working at a government agency. First of all, you wouldn't have been able to get into the building to get to us without having an appointment. Secondly, my receptionist wouldn't have taken it. Like at IO, they wouldn't have taken it. So
Okay, Susan, I'm gonna share a story. So you are correct. You're right. However, what if the people are back in the office? And what if you found out the person's name through on LinkedIn? And what if you took that resume and said, I'm dropping this resume off with Pino? Now, no one drops off resumes anymore because everyone's electronic, everything's through email. But if I walk to the desk and I open up a file and Pino, there's a letter for you, I never get an email anymore with a resume. I might open up that envelope. So if an envelope comes to me and said to Pino from Radica, I'd more likely open, what is this? It's a resume. Okay, I might open it up. I'd more than likely, I will probably open it up. Me personally, but so I don't know, you're taking a chance, but I say it doesn't hurt to try, right?
You lose all the
It doesn't
shots you
hurt,
don't take.
right? Who said that? Joanne, who quoted that?
Wayne Gretzky.
Oh, that's why they call him the great one.
That's right.
And you miss, how many
I
shots do you
agree.
miss? You miss 100% of the shots you don't take?
Yeah, I agree with a lot of what Susan said. You know, maybe they're not in the office, but Radhika, you said you live in Kingston, but you want to drop it off in Ottawa. That's a long way to go. So you have to decide, what are the odds?
Yes.
So, I mean, if you lived in Ottawa, I would say do it. You have nothing to lose.
Yeah.
Except your time and gas.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm not believing in this, but some people, every time they advise me, why not dropping off your resume? I said, everything is going online. Even if I drop my resume to the office, like as Suzanne said, they might not be available, right? Or some of them say that you can apply online. because I have an experience. Even if I am in Kingston, I drop my resume to the company where I really want a job. They said that, did you apply online? I said that yes, I already applied online, but I am here to drop my resume so that you will recognize me. Okay, this is a person who also come in person to the office, and he also applied online. They said that that's okay, you can only apply online. So there are chances, like some people recognize you and accepting your resume in person and some are not. So that's why I'm confused what to do, because I'm looking through many places in Kingston. There are some companies in Kingston, because Kingston is very small city, and many people suggesting me, why not applying to different places. I already applied online, but they are not accepting it. And in return of it, they are just sending me emails. Okay, we have a lot of applicants. This time, because of the ATS, your resume will not selected, so we will not hire you. Just apply next time. So that's the case I'm dealing with.
I would agree with Pino. There's no harm in trying. I had a candidate who applied online and the next day he showed up on site with a copy of his resume. I couldn't give him a job, but I put his resume in front of the hiring manager, to see if she would like to speak to the person. But at least, he made that extra effort. And it also depends upon I was there, right? So I could take the resume. Sometimes I'm in back-to-back calls. I cannot go in and get the resume myself. But if the people like it depends. It's the situation and the day itself.
A quick story for everyone. For those of you who follow me on LinkedIn, there was a candidate. She was from India as well too. She came into my office a couple of weeks ago, and she's the receptionist concept. There's someone here to see me. I said, I don't feel like seeing anyone. She goes, no, she really wants to meet with you. Okay, fine. Go up and meet with her. And she goes, there's 3 towers here. It took me an hour to find the tower. She goes, I'm looking for a job. Can you help me? I said, okay, let's have a quick chat. Okay, let's have a chat. I said, how are you feeling in front of the camera? She goes, I'm okay. I made that video, and I said, I forgot her name. Let's call her Manal. Manal's looking for work. She did a 30-second elevator pitch. Do you know Francesca, a VP of HR, saw that video and interviewed her? She said, Pino, can you give me her
I
number?
saw
I want
the
to talk to
video,
her.
Pino.
Did you
Yeah,
see
I
that?
saw it.
Francesca saw the video and said, Pino, can you give me your number? I might have a job for her. She interviewed her. She didn't get the job, but it just goes to show you, thinking outside the box, doing something different. Susan's right. You may not get that. You may not get that. You may be faced with, no, we're not taking resumes, or no one's. She's right. She's not wrong. But then there's the other side of it is, what if someone actually takes the time to see the resume and says, yeah, you know what? So the answer is, Susan's not wrong. She's not right. I'm not right or wrong. It's just, you take different chances. You find out what works for you. You think outside the box. You be creative.
Pino, can I also just add that different forums and different organizations may be more welcoming? I mean, certainly if you're doing in-person applications, career fairs, like the number of people that lined up for applications at the CNE, right? But the other thing is, are you attending these specific types of functions is also a further opportunity to network in person with other folks that are also searching, because you never know from your conversations with other job applicants, that might lead you to other channels of opportunities. So again, I would say give it a try.
Elaine, can you tell us who you are? What do you do, Elaine?
Oh, well, thank you. Well, I'm actually in human resources as well, and I have built my career in total rewards. So my area and background is in group benefits and compensation, payroll, and HRIS systems.
Awesome. And Elaine, you and I go back 2007, 8 too.
We certainly do, yes. And it is all about building long-term friendships and relationships. And the networking really doesn't require too much time. It could be as simple as acknowledging and congratulating someone through LinkedIn on their service, their tenure with an organization, or a happy birthday, or a congratulations, or a have a wonderful holiday, or have a nice weekend, and how's your summer? And these conversations can continue very seamlessly with minimal, need to do any long-term planning, and it's very important. I would say that the networking is continuous journey through whether you're working or not.
So Elaine, would you say, so what I'm taking from you, network and be active on LinkedIn?
100%.
Increase it, not guaranteed, because there's no guarantees in life, but increase your chances of getting a job or hired.
And the mindset Stay positive, stay
Mm.
focused, and live each day with gratitude. So if you're
Oh,
going through a spiritual journey, it's gratitude that I live by. Thankful for the opportunity to be able to apply, to know how to apply, and to have friends and structure each day. These types of steps, as small as they may be, because you're thinking about them, if you break it apart, you can manage it and you can get through it.
okay. So then here's a question for you. So I love the positive mindset and I agree with you, but it's so hard to stay positive when all you're meeting is no, no, tons of rejection. How do you stay positive when it's just a sea of slam doors and no's and apply online? How do you stay positive?
Redirect your energy. If you have the rejections and you have the declines, track it and say, but I sent the applications. This is the work that I do. So I have a dashboard and I track all of my accomplishments. Every time there's sorry, you're being declined. But in fact, you've actually put a lot of time and effort. You've learned, you've had the interaction, you've met somebody. So my dashboard shows that I've met over 100 people over the last few months. These are potential new avenues for something else in the future. If it hasn't happened now, maybe there's something better happening in the future. So continue to stay positive, keep an open mind, continue to give yourself a little break and pause between your efforts because you need to be refreshed and be prepared mentally and also take care of your body with healthy diets and exercise. Simple, right?
Elaine, how many times do you exercise a week?
I exercise every day because I have a little dog. Her name is Bubbles, and she is a bubbly personality, and
Love it.
she is again
Ah.
my way of saying gratitude, right? The opportunity to spend quality time with your family when you're not working, but you actually have more time because you're spending it with your family and your friends. That's something not to discount. That's something to put in your treasure chest and say, I got something over the last few months. Something is about time, time with family.
Yeah, and do things that you couldn't do before, right? When you had a
That's
job,
right.
you couldn't do. There were so many things you parked it to do during
Yes,
day offs and things. Do those things.
absolutely.
Don't just make job search as the center of your existence. You've got so many other things you can do. So,
Yeah.
as Elaine said, yeah, just distribute your time.
That's
I start my day off with a 30-minute walk. I listen to a podcast and it's the first thing I do. I have a glass of water, warm lemon water, and I just go for a 30-minute walk. I listen to a podcast. Sometimes I don't even listen. I want peace, right? So that's how I start my day. So Elena, I'm glad you mentioned that, like having that mindset, but exercising. Gail talked to you about the yoga. I think all these things, because if you get to an interview and they pick up on that negative energy and they pick up this guy's a good candidate, but not in the right mindset, you're not getting that job. So mindset does play a really, really big part in the job search, right? Being positive, being happy, and people pick up on those vibes and that energy, right?
right.
So I'm so glad you mentioned that, Elaine. We didn't talk about that.
You're welcome.
Awesome. Any other questions? Anyone else wanna jump in?
Hi, I'm Priyanka, and thank you so much for this session. I just have a quick question. Now that I'm returning after my mat leave, and somebody suggested me that I should remove the reason of the gap of mat leave. So is it advisable that the period which is like 18 months in my resume, which is because of a mat leave, should I mention that period as a mat leave or should I just leave it after my last assignment for the discussion? Like, how do we go about that?
Who wants to answer that? Anyone
I
want to answer?
can I can go ahead. You don't really consider mat leave as a leave, right? You show as present that okay, you started from here and you're still working there. Nobody asks you whether you went on a leave or not until it's brought up.
It's in my situation, there was a contract end. So my contract ended, and I was already like 6 months pregnant. So I didn't look for a new job. I continue with my mat leave, and I did that.
Aren't you going back to the same company?
No, I am not. It was a
Okay, then the
contract end.
situation is different. Yeah.
Different. So, for example, like from January 2024, I'm not working. Reason being, I was on mat leave. Now my mat leave is over. I'm actively looking for a job. But the time period from 1 year, it's been 18 months looking at the job market. Now it's 18 months. Should I just mention those 18 months as a maternity leave or a career gap because of parental leave, all those things? Or should I just leave those period like since should I show that or should I just leave
Your
it for the
your
discussion?
skills are not defined by your absence from
I
work at
agree.
all, Priyanka. You don't
I agree
lose
that.
your skills just because you became a mom. right?
Of course.
Especially for women, once we become a mom, I think we get extra power to do things, right?
Amazing. Of
Yeah.
course.
So yeah, if somebody's judging you and looking at your resume and that gap and thinking, oh my God, she's got a lot going on at the moment, then I don't even think that that's the company you want to work for.
Yeah, of course. No, that even I have the same mindset. I mean, if they
Yeah,
have problem, then I will have a future problem with them. You
exactly.
know? So, so should I mention that in my resume that for this period, like for the period of 2024 or 2025 until this month, should I mention as in maternity leave or should I just remove as is? I mean, like, lot many people is giving me just like a close ones who are a well-wisher saying that no, remove those periods and leave it
Hmm.
for a discussion when you get an opportunity to speak with any recruiter or anyone. But I am not convinced because it looks like a break, but there is no reason for a person who is looking my resume like why, what is happening here. So I'm a person who would like to give more clarity what's going on. But looking at those advices and all the slam doors, it makes me really wonder what should I do and what should I, what step I should take now.
I would say included. That's me. For me, when I look at a resume and I look at that gap because of a mat leave or sick leave and things like that, for me, it doesn't matter at all. It doesn't differentiate you from others who have the same skills, right? I look for skills.
Okay.
Yeah,
Great.
Priyanka, I just looked at your LinkedIn profile and I like that you've got that career break on there and
It's
that
there.
you've also stated you're excited to get back to work because then when there's breaks and gaps in resumes or profiles, then we have to ask, right? You have to make it so easy for recruiters, right?
Yeah.
I think there's nothing wrong with how you positioned yourself on LinkedIn.
Thank you so much. And the another question I have, like since the time I moved to Canada, I was always working on a contract. It was not my choice. It was the employer and their nature of business, right? The nature of business was temporary. So everybody, including me in my organization, was on contract. Now I've recently realized that putting that contract thing in my resume or on LinkedIn, it is raising the eyebrows or maybe questions. I mean, it's really not on us to get the permanent job or a contract. For a living, we all have to work, right? So I mean, how do we just jump off those barriers? Like I do explain all those things, my stories in a proper way, explaining the nature of business and everything. Like I worked for a non-profit, Red Cross. Emergencies are not permanent. Those are temporary businesses. So as an employee, we are also temporary employees and our contract do ends. So, but then it wasn't a very positive experience in terms of mentioning contracts. So I'm not sure, like I know I cannot change anything in my resume, but is there any better way to put across those situations?
Are you asking Joanne?
Oh, sorry.
Sorry, Prig. I thought you were asking Joanne. I'm sorry.
That's okay. I mean, anybody has any advice about contract? Like, how do we put across anyone that, okay, we were in a contract because of the nature of the business. It's not our choice to take a permanent or, I mean, any opportunity. As of now, if somebody will present me a contract for 6 months, I will take it because I'm not employed.
So
Now,
just put contract on, just put contract in brackets, right? Like
I
HR
did that.
generals.
I did that, but then there is a lot of questions during the interview was raised that why you have taken a contract role. And I did explain it's a nature of business. It's not me who is
Yeah.
taking a contract role, right? So I
Yeah,
think
but a lot of people, but Priyanka, a lot of hiring managers will understand that though. Like if I talk to candidates and they say, it's a contract, I left for another contract. It happens all the time. So
it is very common in Canada. I
very
mean,
common.
Yeah, it is
Yeah.
very common. And sometimes it's a way of people to even look at your performance and then make you permanent. And
I'm fine.
it's getting very common in Canada now. Yeah.
I'm staying there until either my contract is ending, like I've stayed there for 2 years and my contract was getting extended. I have a good references, so I think that's all. Probably, if someone has any uh, great advice for me, please share maybe after this call. Thank you so much. I leave the room for others now.
Um, yeah, Priyanka, don't get too hung up on the contracts. Like I said, I speak to so many people about the contract. So they don't it's not a big deal. I speak to people all the time. I always say this, if they were on a contract, can I call your former manager? Can they do a reference for you if they say If they say, yeah, no problem. Yeah, here's my number. I'll email you right away. If they say, and I listen to their tone, if they say, oh, I don't know if I can give out the number, it may be a little bit of a flag for me. So it's how
Yeah.
you answer that question. Say, yeah, Pino's a contract. Good. Can I call your former manager? Yeah. Here's
Course, yeah.
Joanne's number. Here's your phone number and email. She'd be happy to provide you as a reference. Perfect. It gives me some reassurance. It makes me feel good about things, and it makes me feel, okay, this makes sense, right? Because let's face it, a lot of people do lie to us because they want to get the job. So sometimes they will tell you things to get anything to get the job, right? So us as the recruiters, talent acquisition professionals, we have to be mindful of, is this person telling us the honest truth? And I've I've caught thousands of people in lies. So um,
I
don't
agree.
worry. Lies will catch up with you in
I
any
agree.
aspect of your life.
I know. Thank you so much. I
Yeah,
appreciate that.
no
Yeah.
problem. No problem. We're gonna squeeze in one question. It's 1:25. We'll squeeze in one more if anyone has anything. It's the long weekend. Um,
So, if there are any, if we are applying for a job, if we see if there is any referral from a current job employee, so how do we see those barriers? So, whether a referral from a current job employee will help us, like to land in a job.
will a referral help you?
Yeah, that is what, if we are applying a job and in the application if they mention about are you referred by a current employee or any job holder, how do you met them, how do you know them? So is a referral is a part which helps you to get a job?
I Manal, you want to? I would say yes. Manal, you
Yeah.
want to jump in?
Yeah, so so I use a system where you can put a referral and who referred you, right? The ATS system does that. But some companies would be okay to have a first pre-screening with you because you were referred. But if your skills do not match with what the role is seeking for, so say I'm an HR person, I apply for a finance role, and it's a referral. If the person doesn't call me, I shouldn't be shocked, right? If the recruiter doesn't call me because my skills did not match. But if your skills are a match to the role and you're a referral, then there is a high chance of you getting a call because I do that. We have a lot of employer referrals through which we fill our workforce need.
So as a newcomer, how do we get some referrals for a job?
Well,
You
you've
need
got
to
to
reach
know
out to
people.
people.
That's the
Yeah.
thing. That you're not going to, people who don't know you aren't going to refer you. The
Yeah.
other thing with employee referrals is in some cases, those companies that have employee referrals, it's for the employee to also get a bit of money as well. They figure employees know what it's like to work here. An employee isn't going to refer somebody who wouldn't fit in here. So it's kind of double-edged, but is it Vishwate? I don't know how to pronounce
Yes,
your name.
yes.
My
Yeah.
apologies. But again, going back to what Pino said, you've got a network. You want someone to refer you, they need to know who you are. And
Yeah.
they understand they need to know what you've done, how you've done it, how you performed, because you're not going to refer somebody that you don't know. I know
Yeah.
I certainly wouldn't. Just because they gave me a resume, if I don't know them, it doesn't mean that I'm going to say sure, because I've worked in every industry possible with some of the biggest names in the world, and if I don't know you, I'm not referring you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you do
But
get that call, and the person does ask you, what did it tell you about the company? You better research about the company. If you say, oh,
yeah.
well, I just know my friend works there, that's a big no for me.
Yes.
Research on the company, show that, okay, you've seen their mission or their values and how it resonates with your own values. Somewhere there is definitely going to help you.
So, what about posting volunteering in a LinkedIn? Is it fine if we could update volunteering at a community service center? So to
Yeah,
fill the
you should
gaps.
definitely, if you're volunteering at places, you should definitely have that on your resume and on your LinkedIn.
Yeah, that sounds
Guys,
good.
I just thanks for that question, guys. I am gonna wrap up, but Johan placed we're gonna do a survey. There he is. It's in the chat. Can you guys just take a couple minutes, just a couple questions? I just want to get some feedback from everyone. So if you can fill out that form for me, it would help me because I want to continue doing this. This was a huge success, and I think we'll do it again. But just to get some feedback from you. So if you can click on the link, it's in the chat. Johan placed that. That would help me out as well too. I just want to wrap up by saying thanks for everyone who joined. I hope you found this useful. I will share it on my YouTube channel by end of today. So if you guys want to refer to it in a few hours, then you can go back and watch it and go from there. But thanks for everyone. Thanks for Susan for adding your value. Joanne, Gail, Johan, thanks for everyone. Thanks for everyone who asked questions. And we'll definitely do this again. Enjoy your long weekend. Back to school in September, and then Christmas is 4 months away.
Thanks, Pino.
Thank you. Thanks, guys. Thanks everyone for joining.
Thank you.
Thank
Take
you.
care.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks,
you.
Elaine. Thank you, Elaine. Thank you.
Take care.
Bye,
Thank-
Gail. Bye, Joanne.
Bye.
Everyone.
Bye.
Bye, guys.